Larry Bailis, also from the Heller School, is now going to talk to us about the year 2015.
Thank you, Susan, and everyone. I'm not going to talk about the entire year 2015, because I only have 5 minutes, but I will be thinking a little about DEIS Impact. I also hope everyone will forgive me if I don't read the entire paper that I have put together, but I want to share some highlights and hopefully provoke some discussions. Roughly 50 years ago, Martin Luther King quoted a Unitarian minister, Theodore Parker, from 100 years before that, and he said, "The arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards justice." 2 years ago, Alan Casey gave a keynote address for DEIS Impact. Alan Casey is probably known to you as the co-founder of City Year, the founder of Be the Change, the inventor of the idea of big citizenship, and probably an unstoppable proponent of all of us getting involved in addressing our country's needs. Alan Casey said that night, much to my surprise when I saw the tape, he said, "History is on our side. We are on the winning team." As we meet here today, it is a little harder to believe that the arc of history is bending in our direction, that we are on the winning team. So I want to share a few thoughts about DEIS Impact in what might be called the age of President Trump. And basically the point is we need to celebrate what is good, but we need to really focus on making sure we are as totally efficient and effective as we can be. Looking back at 5 years of DEIS Impact and other events I've seen recently, including the march on the Boston Common, it seems to me advocates for social justice need to be focusing on 5 similar sounding words: celebrate, educate, activate, motivate, and accelerate. My point is simple. I think DEIS Impact has been fantastic at celebrating and educating. There may be room for some improvement in terms of activating, motivating, and accelerating. Like the March on the Common, DEIS Impact has brought us together, helped us realize we're not alone in our feelings about what's going on in the world, taught us about different aspects of social justice than we may have been familiar with, and has allowed us to have some fun doing so, singing and dancing as well as being serious. And this indeed is to be celebrated. As we'll see in just about a minute, Alan Casey's remarks focused on the activating, motivating, and accelerating. And in my opinion, these are the areas of DEIS Impact that are deserving more attention.
And my message to you today is simply that you need to take DEIS Impact and what you've been discussing over these past 10 days and dedicate yourselves like Eli did to committing some of your time, some of your energy to a world of more social justice. And ultimately, we need each of you to decide how, in your own way, you're going to be the change. Because the problems we face are serious. Roughly 1 in 6 Americans live in poverty. 1 in 5 children in still the richest country in the history of the world. Recent tragic events in Ferguson and Staten Island and Cleveland show that we still have to struggle with America's founding sin of race and class and misunderstanding. But these gloomy facts are only half the story because we have incredible new opportunities. I actually think this is the most exciting time, and I'm sure you talked about it at DEIS Impact, to be a change agent. We have new technologies that are making citizen action more powerful and more possible than ever before. We've seen that all around the world. We have AmeriCorps. We have a new commitment to national service. We have social entrepreneurship. We have programs like the Siegel Fellowship. And my hope for you is that as you engage in social change, as you commit yourself, you will also spend some time doing collective action work, getting out of your silos. Just like the students and the more than 50 organizations that put DEIS Impact together. By banding together, you created this incredible university-wide celebration festival, I love that, of social justice. Take those lessons with you. There's a lot riding on your generation, but I'm convinced that you can and will be the next greatest generation. I love the millennial generation. I wish you were in charge now. You've moved beyond so many of these difficult issues of previous generations, and you have that energy.
I get a little emotional each time I hear that, and I keep thinking, am I going to be able to do enough myself to respond to that call? On Jewish holidays, the ram's horn is blown as a wake-up call and an effort to get us moving in the right direction. In January and February, we have DEIS Impact to do that. DEIS Impact is giving that call, and so my remaining remarks are, what can we do to really be sure DEIS Impact is doing as much as it can? Activating. It is wonderful to count how many events we have and so forth. The question really is, are we activating more students, faculty, and staff at Brandeis than were engaged before DEIS Impact? Or are we simply preaching to the choir? I have to say, I was talking to a Brandeis senior a little while ago, and he or she, said this is the first year they are involved really in DEIS Impact. It made me think. I have to reflect on when some of us faculty were getting together, talking about what would we have to say about DEIS Impact. I'll speak for myself. I was not as involved, other than listening to Alan Casey, I was not as involved as I might have been. The question, how effective is DEIS Impact in activating, spreading the word, getting more people active, is something we need to look at. Is DEIS Impact and the people who got together on the Boston Common motivating people to do more than just feel good? As Alan Casey and I believe Reebok tells us, just do it. How much is DEIS Impact getting us going on things both within and beyond Brandeis that involve social justice? I think these are things we ought to be thinking and looking at. Finally, if we can document all those things, can we see some evidence that DEIS Impact is beginning to make a difference in the world with the issues we care most about? It would be good to know, and it would help us to kind of figure out where DEIS Impact ought to be going. Celebrations are needed in life, and we should have more of them. Looking back at 5 years of DEIS Impact, I think we need to continue to celebrate, but we do need to do more to see how well it's doing on the activate, motivate, and accelerate agendas. I hope we at Brandeis, as an institution of higher learning, will, quote, use knowledge to advance social justice by using the kinds of evaluation skills that we and our colleagues at the Center for Youth and Communities and other places have to take a good hard look at DEIS Impact and figure out, yes, this is the good we're doing, or is there more we can be doing to help us rebend the arc and recreate the team to become the winning team in America again.
Fabulous. I'm beaming. You're making my life so easy. Now, I've known Dr. Bailis for 30 years. I've never seen him in running shoes, and I think that reference indicates that it was Nike. Just do it. But that whole brilliant talk reminds me of our own Justice Brandeis. What did he say about what's the most important title in our democracy? It's that of citizen. So thank you so much, Larry. Great job.